Hi again. Hope you're doing all right. We have come so far. We have created our Next.js application styled it with Tailwind CSS, and we have this mobile responsive version of our application now. And now we have the connect wallet functionality. We can connect to MetaMask or any other wallets. In this video, what I'm gonna show you is building the backend. So up until now, it was the front end and the connect wallet functionality. And from now on, we're gonna build our backend so it will be a full stack minting dApp application. So for the backend, we already defined our Alchemy API key and we're gonna use Hardhat. So if you ask what Hardhat is, it's an Ethereum development environment for professionals like us, okay? So it's gonna help you run Solidity code locally. Solidity is the programming language which you use in your smart contracts. So you will be able to easily deploy your contracts using Hardhat, running tests, debugging Solidity code without dealing with the live environments. Hardhat network is a local Ethereum network designed for development. But we're not gonna use the local Ethereum network. We're gonna use a Rinkeby test network. So let's start using Hardhat. So let's say go to the documentation and the overview. There's this overview. We're gonna start by the installation process. So I'm gonna install some packages. So let's copy this, open our editor. We're gonna install the Hardhat and remove the save dev thing. I don't want this. We're gonna install Hardhat and some other packages like Ethers, which is a Web3 client, which is gonna help us interact with our smart contract later on. So just install these packages. We have Hardhat, Ethers, and Nomic Labs, Hardhat Waffle, and Ethereum Waffle, Choi for testing, and we have Nomic Labs again, the Hardhat Ethers. Hardhat Ethers, and we have this Open Zeppelin contracts, which has a template contracts in the .env for loading our environment variables. After creating the Hardhat project, we're not going to be inside the Next.js environment, so these env files won't be loaded, okay? It's not going to work the Next.js way. So we need a way to load our environment variables. So we're going to use .env. Okay, let's install this. And you can go and say npx hardhat to create a Hardhat project. And what it's gonna do is it will create some folders, the contract folders, the scripts for deploying and running some scripts on this contract. Okay, let's do it. Okay, we installed our packages and now we're gonna create a Hardhat project. So I'm gonna type npx hardhat to do this and move this a little bit up. So what do you want to do? I want to create a basic simple project. Okay, I don't want an empty Hardhat config.js. I'm not using TypeScript. I'm not at a type of advanced type, so I want a simple basic project. So let's say okay, and there are a bunch of files created for you. So first of all, there is this contracts folder. So this is the contract folder that you're gonna put your contracts, Solidity contracts, in here. So there is one. So there is this greater.sol contract. This is a Solidity smart contract, and when you keep creating Solidity smart contracts, then you're gonna place them in the contracts folder, okay? So this is a very simple one. This only has the constructor and set greeting function and get greeting function, then that's it. So this contracts folder created by Hardhat, and also there is this scripts folder, and it's importing Hardhats and getting the greeter contract and deploying it with the constructor function, because the constructor takes some string. You can see it has a greeting string. So when you're deploying it, then you're gonna deploy it with the constructor parameters, right, with this string. And after deployed, it's going to console log the greeter address, like deployed contract address. So this is the second folder Hardhat created for you. And the last one is, there is this Hardhat config.js file. It's the configuration file. It has one simple Hardhat task, which prints the list of accounts. And you don't need that. Let's remove it. There is this Solidity compiler version. This has to be same as your contracts version. This one. They need to be same. We're gonna reconfigure Hardhat config.js file because we want to use another network. So for the configuration options, okay, where is the configuration? Okay, for the configuration you have all of these options. Okay, so let's copy this. I'm gonna change this with this. The default network will be Rinkiby, and when you switch to mainnet, you're gonna change this, of course. There is this default local Hardhat network. We're not gonna use this. This can stay here as is. And we have Rinkiby network, and we can define the mainnet network here also when we're gonna switch to mainnet. And for now, we're going to use Rinkiby, and the URL will be, remember we created Alchemy API key with the Rinkiby network. So we're going to use this. So for this, we need to import our environment variables. So we're going to use .env to do this. So at the top, you need to require .env config. For environment variables, you have here to be loaded. Okay, after doing this, for the network parts, you will have this URL as a string. So just do the same, okay? So we have this template strings and the process env, and next public alchemy RPC URL, which runs on the Rinkiby network. So for the private key thing, we're gonna need our MetaMask private key. So let's go and get it. So open MetaMask, and you're gonna use the account details, export private key, and your password, confirm it, and get this. This is my test account, by the way. Just make sure you're not going to expose this private key. This is important. So MetaMask private key, which is this one. Remove the semicolon, and you're ready. Okay. So remove all of this. You can have more than one. We're just gonna have one. So this will have 0, okay, the last one, 0x in front of it, and then the process env MetaMask private key. don't forget about the 0x. Okay, save this. We have default network and the network section. I'm gonna get the solidity a little bit off up. So you can define other solidity compiler versions here, but I'm gonna use 08. You can have multiple of them actually, and I'm gonna use only one, and the version will be 089, which is the same as my NFT contracts version. So for the settings, I keep the optimizer enabled. This is okay. So there is this default paths. If you want to move your contracts to somewhere else, then you have to define these paths. And these are the default paths. And when you compile your contract, then it's gonna go to this artifacts folder. These are all defined here, okay? If you wanna change things, then you're gonna define it here. Also, there is one more thing we need to do. We're gonna define Etherscan here, like somewhere here. So Etherscan. When we deploy our NFT contract, then we need to verify it on Etherscan, and I'll do it programmatically so that you don't have to deal with it. So we need to go get a Etherscan account and an API key. So let's do this next. Okay, let's go to the Etherscan. Oh my god, not this one. Go to the Etherscan and sign in. So after signing in, you will have this API keys. And my plan is a free API plan. And I will add another API key. Let's call it borrowed ape. And create a new API key. And copy this. So I will have this as an environment variable also. The Etherscan API key. Awesome. So go get this and also use this here like this. So this Etherscan API key is needed to when you deploy your contract, then you're gonna verify it. Okay, so on the Etherscan you can read your contract and write your contract. Okay, great. We have reconfigured our Hardhat config.js file.